Jack Smith and the Washington, D.C. courts are set to interfere with the 2024 presidential election. As the 2024 presidential election approaches, the actions of special counsel Jack Smith and the Washington, D.C. courts have raised serious concerns about their potential interference in the democratic process. With Donald Trump running for president once again, it appears that Smith and the judicial system in Washington are poised to release critical decisions that could have a profound impact on the outcome of the election. The timing and nature of these actions have led many to question whether this is an impartial pursuit of justice or a politically motivated effort to influence voters before November. Jack Smith's investigations. Jack Smith, appointed as special counsel by Attorney General Merrick Garland, has been overseeing investigations into former President Donald Trump, particularly regarding his involvement in the events surrounding January 6, 2021, and alleged attempts to overturn the 2020 election results. Trump's critics have long argued that his actions amount to criminal behavior, while his supporters view these investigations as politically motivated attempts to prevent his return to office. Smith has aggressively pursued these cases, including indictments that could cripple Trump's campaign by diverting his attention from the election and tarnishing his reputation among undecided voters. The fact that many of these decisions are being pushed through in Washington, D.C., a city known for its heavily Democratic voter base, raises eyebrows. Trump himself has pointed out the apparent bias, stating, "How can I get a fair trial in a place that voted 95% against me?" This comment reflects the sentiment of many who believe the deck is stacked against him. The role of the D.C. courts. The Washington, D.C. courts have been instrumental in advancing the legal proceedings against Trump. It is no secret that the district is home to a judiciary that has often been perceived as hostile to the former president. Legal experts have noted that D.C. juries and judges tend to lean left, creating an environment where Trump's legal defense faces significant challenges. One key concern is the timing of potential rulings and indictments. If Smith and the courts decide to move forward with critical decisions in the weeks leading up to the election, it could severely disrupt Trump's campaign. A potential trial during the general election would almost certainly dominate media coverage and could sway public opinion. As Alan Dershowitz, a prominent legal scholar, recently noted, "There's no question that having a trial or indictment of a former president during an election campaign is unprecedented and could have devastating consequences for democracy." Interference in the democratic process. The most significant issue with these investigations is the potential impact on the democratic process. Trump's supporters argue that the legal proceedings are being weaponized to undermine his candidacy and give an advantage to his political opponents. If these cases are pushed to the forefront of the media narrative during the election season, they may prevent Trump from getting a fair opportunity to present his policies and message to the American people. Political commentator Tucker Carlson weighed in on the situation, stating, "This is not about justice. This is about making sure Donald Trump doesn't win in 2024. It's a direct interference in the will of the people. If this were happening in any other country, we'd be calling it out as election interference." Carlson's words underscore the broader concern that the actions of Smith and the courts may undermine the integrity of the electoral process. A question of fairness. It's essential to ask whether these legal actions are being pursued with fairness or if they are part of a broader strategy to influence the election. The American public deserves transparency and accountability in the judicial process, especially when it involves a former president running for office. If the perception persists that the legal system is being used as a tool for political purposes, it could further erode trust in American institutions. As Trump continues to campaign, despite these legal challenges, the question remains whether Jack Smith and the D.C. courts will allow the election to proceed without undue interference. The American people should have the final say in November, not unelected officials in Washington, D.C. In Trump's own words, this is not just a legal fight. It's a fight for the future of our country and our democracy. Conclusion. The 2024 election is shaping up to be one of the most consequential in American history, and the actions of Jack Smith and the Washington, D.C. courts have the potential to alter its course. As we move closer to November, it is critical to remain vigilant and ensure that the legal system is not being used to influence the outcome of the election. The American people deserve a fair and free election, free from judicial interference.